After the evil-eyed emperor was refined and obliterated by Xiao, he transformed into a wisp of white smoke, slowly swirling in the void of the great hall. With the scorching heat of Xiao's amber flame soul fire, within a few minutes, the once invincible evil-eyed emperor, who had even attempted to subjugate the undying flame, would be completely obliterated here. As for the fragments of the undying flame's essence that the evil-eyed emperor had devoured, they too were rendered useless with his demise, vanishing into thin air. Wum. At this moment, a cold and sinister object uncontrollably surged from Xiao's body. It was the demonic cube, which Xiao had sealed tightly with layers of sacred flame power. Unexpectedly, it abruptly fell out of Xiao's soul sea, as if something in the hall had attracted it. Slurp, as soon as the cube appeared, it suddenly sucked in the white mist formed by the evil-eyed emperor. With a strange sound, the last wisp of the evil-eyed emperor's evil smoke, along with a faint trace of sacred flame power, was completely devoured by the cube. After absorbing this trace of energy, the demonic cube, seemingly more sentient, returned to Xiao's hand, exuding a subtle aura that resisted the flames on the golden paper in front of him. Moreover, the demonic cube, after devouring the evil-eyed emperor, seemed to have gained some weight compared to before. What's going on? Xiao was startled, his reaction too slow to prevent the sudden occurrence. Everything had happened in the blink of an eye. To conceal the demonic cube's trace, Xiao had sealed it tightly within his soul sea with sacred flame fire, using dozens of layers of sealing methods. How could it possibly have broken free in an instant? And it actually devoured the last trace of the evil-eyed emperor's power? Why would it consume the evil power of an extraterritorial evil race? It's a bit heavier now, probably about 5% more of the cube's volume. Xiao carefully used his soul power to sense the change. He found that the cube had indeed undergone some alterations. With the infusion of the evil-eyed emperor's energy, a corner of the cube, which was square-shaped, had begun to accumulate power. These forces were trying to fill the demonic cube, resonating with the demonic energy suppressed inside Xiao's body. Xiao had an ominous premonition. If the cube were to be completely filled, would it not be affected by the demonic soul's backlash once it became demonized again? Had it not been for the help of the Emperor Flame Ring and the Flame Mantra, Xiao might have been unable to resist the demon's backlash on his own. But now, the Emperor Flame Ring seemed to be dimming, appearing damaged, and the Flame Mantra was mysterious and uncertain. So, the next time, he could only rely on himself. Forget it. I'll deal with the important matters first. After a brief moment of contemplation, Xiao decided not to dwell on it. This girl, what's going on? After storing the demonic cube away, Xiao's gaze fell upon the little girl before him, only to find that there was an unusual, rare, and resolute wave flickering in her beautiful eyes. It was the fluctuation of sacred flame, accompanied by an air of defiance, as if she was ready to face death. At this moment, the little girl's entire body shone with faint yellow liquid, walking towards the golden paper with a divine, unyielding purpose. Thank you. The little girl, her body now at the golden paper, bowed deeply towards Xiao. She slowly became ethereal. A faint yellow flame detached from the golden paper and surrounded her, resonating with the flames on the golden paper in the center of the hall. Wum. Before Xiao could say anything, the little girl's figure moved toward the flame, almost as if to fuel it. Instantly, the faint yellow flame, which had almost extinguished, flared up like a blazing inferno. Thank you. Watching the sacred flame spirit's selfless act, Xiao did not intervene but bowed deeply, showing his respect for the sacred flame and its spirit. The birth of the sacred flame, in some sense, existed to protect it. Now, with the undying flame having been consumed by the evil-eyed emperor, it was already at the brink of fading. Although it could not extinguish entirely, it would no longer shine with any brilliance for 100 years, or perhaps even tens of thousands of years. The sacred flame spirit's act of using her blood to ignite and inject all of her essence into the golden flame had cost her life. But this act was enough to make the undying flame shine once more. Xiaoyan couldn't help but admire her from the bottom of his heart. How many in this world truly understood such noble sacrifice? Boom! In the next moment, all the vitality of the little girl was extinguished. The faint flame on the golden paper erupted into a dazzling, soft yellow light. Crash! At the same time, the undying fire within Xiaoyan surged uncontrollably, breaking out of his body and wrapping around the undying flame. Undying fire. What exactly is undying immortality? Xiaoyan did not rashly devour the undying flame. He wanted to observe what abnormalities would occur between the undying fire and the undying flame. Moreover, after Xiaoyan's body had been tempered by the dragon god transformation and the power of the demon, and with his strength now at the mid-stage of 6-star Douxian, devouring the undying flame, ranked 18th, no longer required any auxiliary pills, unless he was to devour the holy flame, ranked within the top 14, in which case, pills would be necessary. Wom. The golden paper, pure and immaculate, seemed to be a nurturing bed for the holy flame, continuously releasing a gentle force that nourished the undying flame. As the undying flame absorbed the power of the holy flame's spirit and intertwined with Xiaoyan's undying fire, an overwhelmingly powerful aura of immortality slowly began to sweep through the entire palace. Undying flame. Xiaoyan caught a hint of this immortal energy and couldn't help but smile. The nature of the undying fire is to destroy and then rebuild, but what is the nature of the undying flame? Xiaoyan couldn't help but feel a sense of anticipation. Poof! After a moment, the gray, undying fire quietly returned to Xiaoyan's body. Only a pale yellow flame, leaping joyfully on the golden paper, remained in the vast hall. It looked like a fire spirit, or perhaps like a newborn baby, happily jumping, with each leap releasing a faint yellow aura. That was the scent of immortality. Give me your power. I will guard this great 1,000 worlds for you. Watching the undying flame act this way, Xiaoyan waited a moment until the undying flame settled down. Then, surrounded by amber flame soul fire, he spoke in a heavy tone. The undying flame was akin to being reborn, yet it still harbored an extreme hatred for the evil powers of the evil-eyed emperor. Xiaoyan had noticed this and had spoken up, as any untimely eruption of the undying flame would waste considerable time. Swish, swish. Upon hearing his words, the pale yellow flame trembled violently. It seemed to catch a familiar scent from Xiaoyan's amber flame, even stronger than its own rank of 18. Tap, tap, tap. After a few minutes, the pale yellow flame, no longer hesitating, transformed into a golden arrow, shooting off the golden paper and straight into Xiaoyan's body. Thank you. Seeing this, Xiaoyan finally felt a heavy burden lift from his heart. Next came the coveted step: devour the holy flame and comprehend the realm of undying immortality. Within the dimly lit hall, a slender man sat upright. Faint yellow flames moved across his body, like blood flowing through his veins, slowly circulating, as if examining something. The fluctuation from his body made Xiaoyan appear like an ancient, timeless stone statue, motionless. Had it not been for the rhythmic rise and fall of his chest, one might have truly thought him to be a statue. As this action took place, the power within Xiaoyan's body gradually approached its peak. The energy of the mid-stage 6-star Douxian and the flame mantra worked in tandem, creating an oppressive force that filled the air. At the same time, the essence of the undying flame surrounding Xiaoyan became more familiar, preparing him for the devouring of the holy flame. Even though Xiaoyan had everything ready, he did not dare act hastily, for the holy flame was not something to be trifled with. A single misstep could have consequences beyond his capacity to endure. Undying flame. At this moment, Xiaoyan slowly opened his eyes, and a faint yellow crystal and a wisp of pale yellow flame quietly hovered above his palm. Together, they exuded an aura that was eternal and indestructible, the true power of the undying flame. After a few days, the resistance of the undying flame has been reduced to a minimum. Now is the best time to devour it. Once I devour the undying flame, I'll first see if I can use its power to break through to the 6-star Douxian. After that, I'll attempt to touch the realm of undying immortality. Xiao looked at the two objects in his palm with satisfaction, smiling. During these past few days, the undying flame had surrounded his body. One reason was to gently harmonize his own energy, and another was due to certain concerns. Although he had not begun devouring it yet, Xiao understood that this hesitation was caused by the demonic power within him. He had not acted rashly but had instead carefully adjusted his breath, allowing the undying flame to probe, for Xiao had full confidence in his ability to conceal the demonic power. It was only a matter of time. Let's begin. After a breath, Xiao lips curved into a smile. His flame mantra surged at full speed, and a terrifying suction force spread from deep within his body. Time was pressing, and there were many things Xiao needed to handle personally. Thus, when his energy reached saturation, he did not hesitate. Devouring the sacred flame still required him to swallow the pale yellow flame into his body and refine it before it could be considered successful. Only after that could he use the flame mantra to temper and elevate his cultivation method and level. Boom! As the pale yellow flame erupted, it immediately transformed into molten magma, exuding intense heat and an immortal power. It slowly flowed from Xiao nose and mouth. Even Xiao, being burned by the immortal flame, felt his skin turn crimson, resembling blood-red crystal stones. The redness was so intense it was heart-stirring. Without the aid of medicinal pills or herbs, rashly devouring the sacred flame was a torment of such magnitude, but it was still within Xiao endurance. CSI. Xiao gritted his teeth, beads of sweat uncontrollably flowing down his forehead. A suppressed aura spread out as he controlled the spiritual power and Do Qi within his body, compressing the molten yellow magma into his Do Qi Sea. The oppressive feeling was so strong that even Xiao expression changed drastically. However, he understood that there was no such thing as a free lunch in this world. With a heavy heart, he resisted the constant erosion of the immortal magma. What pleased him, though, was that as the immortal flame washed over him, his aura seemed to grow illusory, as if his flesh and blood were absorbing strands of immortal power. This was undoubtedly excellent news for Xiao. Strangely enough, despite being at the peak of the Do-Di realm, the Immortal Emperor could use the Immortal Flame and Immortal Golden Body to take on two exalted beings from the extraterritorial evil clan. Such existences were among the most formidable in the Great Thousand Worlds and truly deserving of respect. Now, as Xiao devoured the Immortal Flame, he realized that while the power of the Immortal Flame might not be as overwhelming as the Undying Fire, its immortal power was precisely what he needed. Once combined with Basha's mark and the Immortal Golden Body, his strength would surge again. The Immortal Flame was a pale yellow fire, and its shape remained in a thin, upright form. It was said that the previous owner was the Immortal Emperor, whose famous technique, the Immortal Golden Body, was one of the most terrifying Do skills in the Great Thousand Worlds. As for its specific powers, they were unknown, but anyone with a brain would understand the terrifying nature of an existence capable of using peak Do-Di strength to fight two Do-Sien-level extraterritorial evil beings. As Xiao stood in the Great Hall, the golden paper suddenly began to shake violently. An old, ethereal figure appeared, resembling a kind and loving elder, and descended into the hall. This guy's aura seems somewhat familiar. The elderly figure scanned the hall with pale yellow eyes, first circling the area and purging the evil energy. Then, he cast a glance at Xiao, who was struggling to devour the immortal flame. A look of comfort appeared in his eyes. Rip. Xiao, of course, paid no attention to the ethereal old figure. His entire focus was on the situation inside his body, with horrific screams echoing throughout the hall. Oh, the Do-Di form? This little guy must be the one who obtained my Do-Di form in the incense pavilion, the elderly figure murmured, noticing the illusory giant image surrounding Xiao. The old man then carefully studied Xiao, and his figure transformed into a brilliant golden ripple. The sensation was reminiscent of the legendary Immortal Golden Body. Bang! 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 Heart-wrenching roars filled Xiao mind. His pupils turned blood-red, and veins bulged on his arms. However, the stubborn immortal flame magma, which had been present since the beginning, was slowly compressed and absorbed into his Do Qi Si under the pressure of Xiao Yan's radiant spiritual power. Get in there. With victory within reach, Xiao Yan roared and unleashed a torrent of power to suppress the immortal flame. Sacred Flame Crystal. In that moment, countless fragments of the immortal flame were driven into the sacred flame crystal within his Do Qi Si. Xiao Yan finally felt a sense of relief and collapsed onto the ground. Finally, I've succeeded. Wait, who is this guy? The Immortal Emperor? As Xiao Yan collapsed, he caught sight of the elderly figure, and a rush of shock and joy flooded his heart. With the Immortal Emperor around, could the immortal golden body be far behind? Senior? Xiao Yan sprang up, standing upright, his gaze fiery and filled with respect. Heh, little guy. We really are fated to meet. The Immortal Emperor grinned, a subtle trace of satisfaction hidden beneath his smile, clearly having recognized Xiao Yan. Did you successfully devour the immortal flame? Xiao Yan nodded lightly, and a pale yellow flame suddenly spread from the tips of his fingers, leaping mischievously like a playful spirit across his arm. The strange undying power and searing heat of the undying flame caused the space in front of Xiao Yan to warp slightly, the heat waves distorting the air and blurring his vision. Undying flame, immortal fire. They are born from the realm of undying immortality. However, when I and the master of the immortal fire fell, in order to prevent it from falling into the hands of the extraterritorial evil clans, we stored it in another location, protected it. The Immortal Emperor spoke gently, understanding Xiao Yan's thoughts. With a sudden flash, the other arm of Xiao Yan erupted with a grayish immortal fire, bursting with brilliant power. The two flames slowly attracted each other, as if they shared some common trait. Where exactly is the immortal realm? Xiao Yan asked in confusion. Based on what he knew, if he mastered the immortal realm, he might truly achieve the long-desired state of immortality. At that point, the immortal realm exists in a special void within the monster realm. The Immortal Emperor replied after a pause, smiling. The monster realm? How could that be? Xiao Yan's expression shifted slightly. The monster realm was recognized as the second most powerful realm in the Great Thousand Worlds, far stronger than the ghost realm. The monster realm is nearly second only to the human realm among the seven realms. And because of the monster realm's strength, the extraterritorial evil clans have little influence there. That's why I and the former master of the immortal fire decided to store the immortal realm in the monster realm. As for the specific location, you'll need to explore it yourself. However, the monster emperor should know about this, the Immortal Emperor added slowly. Hearing this, Xiao Yan felt a wave of dejection. As for the monster emperor, Xiao Yan recalled that the monster emperor had been sealed by the combined forces of the three realms, didn't he? Coupled with the previous agreement with the powerful figures from the ghost and monster realms, Xiao Yan felt a heaviness in his heart. Hey kid, the immortal realm is no joke. You'll understand in time. Moreover, the monster realm is worth your visit. Whether it's for the coming heavenly war or for the monster emperor, the monster realm is an invaluable ally. Now, accept my final inheritance. Immortal golden body. With a cold snort, the immortal emperor's body suddenly became ethereal. Immediately, a pale yellow immortal power spread throughout the hall. The immortal emperor's body grew immense, becoming a towering golden giant. Countless golden fire patterns outlined his form, vivid and lifelike. The power emanating from him could only be called immortal. Attack me with all your might. The immortal emperor's body swelled, transforming into a massive golden giant, as if no attack could break through him. He truly became a giant who could hold up the heavens. All right. 3 fists of creation. 4 fingers of the firmament. Xiao Yan unleashed his attack. For finger beams and 3 fist shadows swept through the entire immortal hall with a howling wind. As a mid-stage 6-star Do Xian, Xiao Yan's strike was overwhelmingly powerful. Clang, clang, clang. To Xiao Yan's surprise, his mighty attack, upon striking the immortal golden body, was like striking an egg against a rock. His attack vanished instantly, while the immortal emperor's body remained unscathed, as if all the power touching the immortal golden body was neutralized. Whoosh whoosh. The immortal golden body is not the source technique of the sacred flame. It's something I realized from understanding the immortal flame. Remember, the limit of the immortal golden body depends on the strength of your own body. At my peak, I was just a Do-D. Yet I could use the immortal golden body to block attacks from any 3-star Do-Xian and below. In the future, how much power the immortal golden body and immortal flame can unleash depends on you. In my great 1,000 worlds, with someone like you coming up, we can finally rest easy. Now, accept my final inheritance. The immortal emperor's voice boomed like thunder in the hall, and Xiaoyan's body shook violently. He immediately sat down quietly, preparing to receive the final power from this mighty being. Whoosh whoosh. As the immortal emperor's words faded, the pale yellow flames from his body surged, and with a sense of relief, a burst of power rushed into Xiaoyan's body. Boom! A ripple of pale yellow flame engulfed Xiaoyan's entire body. These forces were of the same origin as the immortal flame, but they were even more powerful. Zzz. Xiaoyan endured the inhuman agony until the power slowly flowed into his body. Within Xiaoyan's Do-Qi, a faint golden giant gently grasped the sacred flame crystal of the undying flame. Immediately, a pale yellow flame glimmered in Xiaoyan's pupils. Undying. Golden body. After a deep breath, Xiaoyan exhaled, and radiant power surged forth like a tidal wave. Boom! With a deafening roar, countless pale yellow forces uncontrollably erupted from Xiaoyan's body, instantly enveloping every inch of his skin. In the blink of an eye, a golden giant, centered on Xiaoyan, slowly appeared within the grand hall. The undying golden body, truly a powerful asset. With this, facing some ordinary 7-star Do-Xian shouldn't pose any problems. Xiaoyan squinted slightly, feeling the golden giant that now surrounded him, its towering form stretching 100 meters. A smile of satisfaction appeared at the corner of his mouth. With this, the safety of his future fusion with the sacred flame seemed guaranteed. Farewell, Senior. After perfectly absorbing this power, a mournful wail filled the hall. Golden energy ripples shattered slightly, signaling the slow disappearance of the mighty, undying emperor. Right, I still haven't purified the cultivation method, flame mantra, or improved my strength. Hopefully, this will help me break through to 7-star, Xiaoyan murmured, protected by the golden giant. An aura of immortality emanated from him, as the flame mantra began to run at high speed, continuously devouring the power of the undying flame. At the same time, Xiaoyan's strength gradually increased, and even the flame mantra began to purify the energy within. Whoosh! Within the undying hall, a small figure, enveloped by the golden giant, felt streams of pale yellow undying power slowly surging and roaring within. These powers were continuously infused into the flame mantra, and for a moment, Xiaoyan's aura transformed, becoming utterly different from before, as if mysterious forces had been injected into him. What exactly is this flame mantra? As Xiaoyan continually fed the sacred flame's energy into the flame mantra, he realized that the flame mantra was not as simple as it seemed. Previously, the flame mantra, amplified by the sacred flame, had reached the sacred stage, but the 6 most mysterious and powerful realms of the flame mantra were still a complete mystery to Xiaoyan. A cultivation method at the peak of the sacred stage? After an unknown amount of time, when the flame mantra had absorbed enough energy, Xiaoyan slowly opened his eyes and muttered. However, the aura emerging from the deepest part of his body, where the flame mantra resided, made Xiaoyan feel perplexed. Does the cultivation method need to reach the realm of immortal arts before I can cultivate the subsequent 6 realms? Xiaoyan wondered. Because, as of now, the flame mantra, apart from allowing him to devour the sacred flame, didn't seem to have any other effects. At present, the flame mantra was only at the peak of the sacred stage, 1 step away from immortal arts. Xiaoyan instinctively felt that the final 6 stages of the flame mantra were something he had yet to truly step into. Like the 6 realms he had previously cultivated based on the flame mantra, they now seemed like child's play to him. The secrets of the flame mantra might only be uncovered after the 100-year pact, when he could seek out the Xiao clan's guardian for a glimmer of hope to unravel the truth. But for now, a sacred stage peak-level cultivation method was more than enough for Xiao. Besides, there were many challenges ahead, and he couldn't afford to waste more time here. Whether it was the 100-year pact, the Xiao clan's secrets, or the looming power of the Holy See, Xiao desperately needed to increase his strength. Next is the most crucial step: undying flame, undying golden body. Xiao eyes gleamed with rare joy, and he shouted with determination, "Wum!" This time, the undying flame gently emerged from the Doqi Sea, swirling around his limbs and bones. At the same time, Xiao fire attribute battle core began to expand, and pure energy uncontrollably surged into it from the sacred flame crystal of the undying flame. Rip! As the fire attribute energy entered, Xiao face twisted in pain, the agony seeping deep into his bones. His body shook, sweat dripping from his brow. But at the same time, Xiao strength steadily surged. Mid-6-star Do Xian. Late 6-star Do Xian. Time continued to pass slowly, and Xiao had no idea how long it would take. But at the very least, it would take several months. Father, the Holy Sea's people. At this moment, several months had passed since Xiao entered Forgotten Horizon. During this time, the Star Empress had used a series of thunderous methods to calm all the negative factors on Tianqing continent caused by the previous calamity. The entire continent was experiencing a period of prosperity, with the people's hearts united. However, the fallen 7-star level powerhouses could not be revived, which had shaken the foundation of the royal family. In the pavilion, Ji Xian, Lin Yunshu, and the Lin Emperor quietly gathered. Their eyes were filled with concern, as if worried about something. The three of them now held the power of the entire royal family, and their gathering here likely meant they had something important to discuss. Some insignificant members of the Holy See. They wouldn't be able to investigate anything meaningful. My only worry is the ancient monsters within the Holy See. After all, those guys' power is... The Emperor shook his head helplessly. Every time he mentioned the Holy See, his eyes and body seemed to change. Although Tianqing continent was rich in heritage, in terms of overall strength, it was no match for the Holy See. The Holy See was truly a giant presence, something that Tianqing continent could never compare to, not to mention the existence of angels. It was only after the battle between the demon Xiao and the angels that the Emperor realized the terror of the angels. Moreover, Xiao had slain an angel, and that grudge would likely evolve into a true enmity in the future. Now, it was clear that they were at a crossroads, where the fate of Tianqing continent would be decided. A wrong choice, and the continent would be completely erased from history. Father, do you think Xiao can be trusted? Seeing the concerned expression on the Emperor's face, Lin Yunshu smiled softly. Oh. The Emperor tilted his head slightly, looking at her. Even he appreciated Lin Yunshu's strategic vision and leadership. Since she was speaking, he listened carefully. Perhaps I should rephrase it. Will the boundless fire domain become a protective umbrella for us in the future? Lin Yunshu smiled. You mean? The Emperor understood what she was implying and relaxed, saying, I see. Although the boundless fire domain is weak, according to the information I have received, it has the support of the 2 domain lords from the Ghost Realm. As for other forces, we can set them aside. The power of the demon that Father personally witnessed that day. I believe this is a very wise move for us. Lin Yunshu analyzed calmly. This is a gamble. If we lose, Tianqing continent may be completely destroyed by our hands. The Emperor's eyes became grave. But although Tianqing continent appears prosperous now, after this battle, we've already lost 1/3 of our foundation. We have no other choice, do we? Lin Yunshu argued, pressing the point further. All right. The Emperor finally nodded. You are the true ruler of this continent now. From this point forward, all decisions are yours to make. This gamble, we accept, the Emperor said, a relieved smile spreading across his face. Thank you. After receiving the Emperor's approval, Lin Yunshu smiled gently and began to make plans for the next steps. Since they were preparing to stake the continent's fate on this gamble, they would stop at nothing to help the Boundless Fire Domain. In its early development, the Boundless Fire Domain had grown exponentially thanks to the support of both Tianqing Continent and Haohai Continent. Meanwhile, in the Immortal Hall, whoosh! A gust of air surged, and Xiao, sitting cross-legged, suddenly opened his eyes. An invisible energy ripple spread outward from his body, carrying an aura that was unmistakably different from before. Early 7-star Douxian. Xiao smiled with narrowed eyes. Over the past month, he had focused on improving his strength. Fortunately, he had successfully passed the 7-star Douxian tribulation and made a breakthrough to the early 7-star Douxian stage. Now, Xiao was confident he had enough power to face off against those at the 7-star Douxian level, such as Soul Wuji. Next, it's time to head to the Monster Realm. Next, we go to the Monster Realm. Xiao stood slowly in the vast hall, murmuring to himself. As for the Immortal Emperor, he was quite a figure. With his immortal golden body, he could block 2 3-star Douxian-level domain lords from the extraterritorial evil clan. Everything relied on the undying fire and immortal golden body. Moreover, Xiao realized that the immortal golden body seemed to be a Dou skill without a specific level classification. Even when used by the Immortal Emperor at the peak of Dou D, it could withstand the power of the 3-star Douxian level, making its value self-evident. Of course, the Immortal Emperor should not be underestimated. If it came to physical strength, Xiao felt he could not match him. This was the true power of the immortal golden body. It was not tied to one's cultivation level, but grew stronger as the body itself became stronger. As for the so-called Dou D form, it has already merged completely with the immortal golden body, the two becoming one. There's no time to waste, let's go now. With my power rising so rapidly, heading to the demon realm is also a good choice. It will both increase my strength and help resolve the demon emperor issue, while avoiding the Holy Sea's pursuit. In the future, there may be a battle, Xiao said with a smile. He then began to carefully search through his spatial ring for the item given to him by the Black Fiend Dragon Wolf. A dark green demon core, no larger than the size of a palm, with an extremely terrifying aura radiating from it. I hope this journey to the demon realm will allow me to truly shoulder the burden of the boundless fire domain, Xiao muttered, slowly squeezing the dark green demon core in his hand. Whoosh whoosh. With a sound, the void around the immortal hall trembled, instantly pulling Xiao inside. The space then returned to silence, while Xiao was swept away toward the demon realm by the force of the void. Meanwhile, in another void space, Light Demon, you're cornered. Surrender now, a voice echoed in the dim, empty space as 3 dark shadows surrounded the Light Demon. The pressure was overwhelming, clearly requiring at least an 8-star Douxian to contend with. Damn it! That bastard Dark Demon. He was lying to me all along. The Light Demon looked at the 3 black auras in front of her and immediately understood. They were 3 king-level powerhouses from the extraterritorial evil clan. Individually, their powers might not surpass her own, but with their combined strength, even she was helpless. As for her demon guards and personal attendants, they were scattered, fighting other powerful members of the extraterritorial evil clan, unable to come to her aid. However, now that she knew the demon emperor had not fallen, even though she carried the burden of being cursed by 10 people, the Light Demon would not give up. Her lifelong wish was to be with the demon emperor. Attack! She betrayed the extraterritorial evil clan. Her blood and soul will be the price. The 3 king-level powerhouses all sneered simultaneously, their bodies radiating dark, evil energy. A subtle wave of power spread outward, enveloping the entire void and turning it into a true hellish realm, filled with a chilling, oppressive atmosphere. Buzz buzz. Damn it, why now? Suddenly, beside the Light Demon, a majestic figure with the body of a half-dragon, half-wolf appeared, shielding her. However, on its head, a soft green glow flickered. It was the Black Fiend Dragon Wolf's true form, but its head was clearly sensing Xiao energy. Unfortunately, the Light Demon was under attack from behind, and with Xiao crushing the demon core, the black fiend dragon wolf couldn't separate itself to guide Xiao. Unlike the demon realm, where the black fiend dragon wolf was present to lead the way, Xiao would need to take a much longer route without its help. Black fiend dragon wolf? The light demon gasped. Damn it! Without anyone to guide Xiao, he will waste a lot of time. I miscalculated. Lady, follow me. The black fiend dragon wolf wasn't one to hesitate. It knew that, even together, they couldn't handle the 3 king-level members of the extraterritorial evil clan. With a single leap, it ran toward the end of the void space. Where do you think you're going? Chase them, the 3 king-level figures bellowed, releasing brilliant waves of energy. The power from them was enough to shake the very fabric of reality. 3 black-level kings from the extraterritorial evil clan and the light demon, who is jointly wanted by the Holy See. They're powerful enough to make me act. A voice spoke from the end of the void as 5 powerful auras clashed. A woman in a white gown appeared, her elegant figure outlined by her attire. As one looked at her gown, a pair of pure white wings unfolded behind her, gently fluttering. The mere movement of these wings sent ripples of unease through the surrounding void. A sacred aura emanated from her, purifying countless evil forces, pure to the extreme. Looking past her graceful form, an otherworldly scene of 4 wings emerged, spreading outward. It was an angel 4 wings. How this battle will end, no one could tell. Meanwhile, on the other side, where is it? Xiao, having been drawn into the void, waited for a long time, but didn't sense the black fiend dragon wolf's presence, nor any trace of energy. He couldn't help but furrow his brows. Regular spatial portals allowed for short-distance transfers, but a portal between 2 realms, like the one Xiao was using to move from the human realm's Doyun continent to the demon realm, was called a time-space rift. It was extremely dangerous, and only an 8-star Do Xian could survive it. Now, Xiao was within a time-space rift, where the invisible spatial storms raged around him. The deafening winds made Xiao certain that if he was swept into them, he would either die or be severely injured. After struggling against the space storm for a while, Xiao expression changed drastically. Never mind. I still know the general direction of the monster realm. I'll just take it one step at a time. Seeing this, Xiao dared not linger any longer. His power surged within him, and he plunged directly into the rift of space and time, heading toward the monster realm. Among the 7 realms, it was common for each realm to covet the resources and territories of others, leading to constant conflicts, both large and small. To maintain order, seals were established at the borders of each realm. These served not only to delineate boundaries, but also to prevent those with ill intent from causing chaos by trespassing into other realms. However, only a select few powerful beings could bypass these seals and traverse freely. While spatial rifts could evade the surveillance of higher beings, allowing for stealthy entry into other realms, such movements were often detected by the top powers within those realms. Is there a flaw in the void of the Doyun continent? Someone has entered the monster realm? In a luxurious room at the pinnacle of the Holy See, an elegant elderly woman's lazy gaze flickered with a trace of doubt. Meanwhile, Xiao was enduring the fierce and terrifying spatial turbulence within the rift as he pressed toward the monster realm. If not for his recently heightened battle strength, the crushing forces within the rift would have reduced him to dust. Initially, Xiao believed that with the Black Fiend Dragon Wolf's assistance, breaking the seal on the Demon Emperor in the monster realm and acquiring the power of the undying and immortal realm would be a swift endeavor. However, it now seemed that the Black Fiend Dragon Wolf had encountered unforeseen issues. This journey to the monster realm was turning out to be far more complex than anticipated. Nonetheless, the journey to the monster realm had officially begun. This venture promised to be extraordinary and filled with intrigue. The monster realm stood in a uniquely gifted location. The concentration of natural energy and the stability of space here were far greater than those in the outside world, making it a veritable paradise for humanity. The inhabitants of the monster realm were almost exclusively mystical beings brought into existence by spiritual phenomena. In the great thousand worlds, all life forms, whether plants, magical beasts, rocks, or soil, had their own cultivation systems. Upon reaching a certain level of cultivation, they could choose to undergo a tribulation, significantly enhancing their power, and either transform into human forms or ascend from the great thousand worlds to the monster realm, where they could enjoy the protection of its powerful beings and the long lives reserved for sacred spirits. Today, the monster realm was vast, even more intricate than the ghost realm. The creatures here often envied human intelligence and usually took on human forms in their daily lives. Some completely shed their monstrous nature to cultivate as humans, gaining genuine human appearances and considerable intellect, while others merely assumed human forms without abandoning their original natures. For the creatures of the monster realm, whether they had fully transformed into humans or simply taken on human appearances, their original forms were of utmost importance. Unless faced with significant threats or life-or-death situations, they rarely revealed their true forms. This was because exposing their original forms often gave adversaries an opportunity to exploit their weaknesses. Moreover, battles in the monster realm were far more brutal than elsewhere. The monster realm was a place where strength dictated everything. Though most inhabitants presented themselves in human form, their inherent power and attributes often made them far superior to ordinary humans. For instance, a ferocious bear spirit, categorized as a strength-type entity, could wield elemental attributes such as fire, earth, wood, or wind, derived from its original form. Its power would surpass that of any human counterpart in the human realm. That said, not all mystical beings relied solely on brute force. Some possessed extraordinary intelligence, serving as advisors to powerful entities. Nevertheless, the majority of the monster realm's inhabitants were beings of immense strength. Creatures in the monster realm, like humans in the human realm, usually lived as humans unless engaged in reproduction or mortal combat. Their original forms also harbored a unique self-destructive power, similar to a human's ability to self-detonate. Beyond that, their monster cores, akin to human hearts, contained the essence of their life's cultivation. All in all, the monster realm was a remarkable and formidable land. The monster realm was divided into 100 nations, each ruled by a monster king. These kings governed territories spanning thousands of miles. Above the 100 monster kings stood the monster emperor, who ruled over the entire monster realm. The monster emperor's power was unparalleled within the monster realm. He commanded a personal army and wielded immense strength to govern the realm. At the pinnacle of the monster realm lay its center, a mysterious place said to be birthed from the very essence of all living things. The monster realm's center was home to only 100 individuals, each of whom had ascended to immortality within the realm or achieved legendary feats that greatly benefited the monster realm. These individuals were unparalleled in their skills and strength, transcending the mundane affairs of the world. Unfortunately, 1,000 years ago, for reasons unknown, the Demon Emperor's army was jointly attacked by the strong forces of the Ghost Realm, Demon Realm, and Buddhist Realm. After that battle, the Demon Emperor vanished without a trace. Immediately, many of the Demon Emperor's powerful subordinates fell into disarray, dividing the entire Demon Realm among themselves. These individuals were the elite soldiers under the Demon Emperor's command, but the creatures of the Demon Realm are inherently strong-willed and combative. Without the Demon Emperor's authority and military suppression, their pride spiraled out of control, turning the Demon Realm into chaos. Xiao, alone, broke through a spatial rift, starting his journey into the Demon Realm from a remote town at the edge of the Wanyao Kingdom, one of the many nations on the borders of the 100 nations. Perhaps it was fate or mere coincidence, but the Wanyao Kingdom was also located very close to the place where the Demon Emperor's seal was hidden. Crack! With the sound of a violent rupture, the scorching sun blazed overhead in the Demon Realm. The deep blue sky cleared as clouds dispersed. Suddenly, a section of the void trembled violently before tearing apart, and a dark shadow emerged from the rift, uncontrollably plummeting toward the earth. Though the power across the Great Thousand Worlds is largely uniform, distinctions can still be made. The Ghost Realm is filled with a sinister and eerie aura, while the Demon Realm exudes a potent, oppressive demonic energy. To other creatures, a human's aura is distinctly vibrant and overpowering, easily recognizable. For the demonic spirits, however, true humans are hated with a vengeance. This is because humans are notorious for their reckless destruction and their exploitation of all living things. The demon realm is the last refuge for these spiritual beings. So, if a human were to enter, the consequences would be, as one might expect, catastrophic. Could it really be this bad? The newcomer was none other than Xiao. Upon entering the demon realm, his flame mantra unexpectedly began transforming his Do Qi into demonic energy, amplifying it with the surrounding demonic aura. Do Qi is still Do Qi. It's just hidden beneath the cover of demonic energy. Within the demon realm, Do Qi is indistinguishable from demonic energy. It merely carries a different name. The battle core infused with amber flame soul fire was slowly surrounded by an eerie demonic aura. Whoosh! Xiao, like a powerless weak woman, plummeted from the sky, crashing straight into a dense, leaf-covered forest. After the crash, Xiao only saw darkness before losing consciousness. This was due to his earlier resistance to the spatial rift's corrosive effect. With the demonic energy now obscuring his vitality, Xiao felt extremely weak. Fortunately, his body was immensely strong, and he suffered no harm from the fall. Who goes there? A burly man from a merchant convoy, who was blocking the path, coldly snorted. This was a narrow trail, with a few clear paths in the center for passage, while the rest was dense forest. The convoy also had several beasts for transporting goods, so there was no alternative route. Captain Wang, what's going on? At that moment, a delicate voice, like a silver bell, sounded from behind the convoy. A slender, graceful hand lifted the curtain of a fine sedan chair, revealing a puzzled young woman. No worries, Mississippi. It's just a man who fell from the sky for some unknown reason and blocked our path. The burly man in charge of the convoy's security smiled reassuringly. Oh, I'll go take a look. As she spoke, the young woman slowly descended from the sedan chair and walked toward where Xiao had fallen. Miss, now is a turbulent time in Butterfly Valley. Perhaps we should. The captain of the guards couldn't help but voice his concerns. It's fine, the young woman said lightly, her voice dropping as she reached Xiao's side. She bent gracefully, carefully examining his condition. Glup. Several men in the convoy couldn't help but envy the sight of this stunning young woman as they watched her delicate figure. He's still breathing. He's probably just unconscious for now. Let's carry him to the sedan chair to rest. The young woman gently placed her finger near Xiao's nose, confirming his steady breathing. She then pressed her ear to his chest to listen to his strong heartbeat, smiling. It seems he'll be fine. Sigh. Miss, you're as kind as ever. Well, unlucky guy, consider yourself fortunate. With that, several of the men lifted Xiao into the sedan chair. At the young woman's request, they even gave him some medicine to ease his unconscious state, causing the guards to release wolf-like growls of hunger.